So, desperate times call for desperate measures and all that. And so this week I thought it would be cool if we took a look at some games that both Rodney and I would play against other opponents. And we just sort of recorded them and also shoutcasted them.
Right. So I'm going to go ahead and start recording my Hearthstone screen here. And what we're going to do, Juice, is when we're done, we're going to actually have a link in the show notes to our YouTube channel, which will actually have a recording of the games that we do play. So we're going to try to shoutcast the best that we can. This is the first time doing it, but it is a nice little Christmas difference just to see how we do and kind of prep for the fireside gathering.
Yes. And also, we're going to play as well as we can. But I guess that would go without saying.
All right, Juice. Recording is up. I see you are ready.
Okay,
Let's go ahead and see if you can find a worthy opponent.
Well, I've had pretty good luck with that so far, but let's see. So I'm going to go ahead and try using this Paladin deck that I've been talking about for the last couple episodes since Goblins vs. Gnomes. And I think, Rodney, were you spectating when I did some cool stuff with it?
I did, so I kind of remember, and I think last week we talked a little bit about the combinations that you have with this deck, so I'm really excited to see it, and I'm really excited to know that our listeners will be able to listen and be able to see this and hopefully come to fruition. Again, your favorite word.
Ooh, against Errei. E-R-R-E-I. Okay, so I actually have a pretty sweet opening hand for what I want to do. The Leper Gnome is early, so I can sort of trade away. The Sword of Justice gives my minions +1/+1 when they are summoned, and that's a 3 mana, and then 5 mana the Quartermaster 2/5 and give your Silverhand recruits +2/+2 as a battle cry. So I'm actually just going to keep that.
Very nice. All right, so you are going first, and you are playing a priest.
Oh, perfect. Zombie Chow.
Nice. So you did draw that Zombie Chow, which is that 1 mana, 2 attack, 3 health, and it has a death rattle. When it does get killed, you actually restore 5 health to that enemy hero.
Now, I like it going early because chances are if it dies, they're not going to get the full 5, and I can use it for trading off early.
Right. So let's see. The priest is putting down a card, and they put down that Northshire Cleric. It's that 1 mana cost for a 1/5. Whenever a minion is healed, you draw a card.
Well, let's go ahead and make them work for it a little bit. I'm just going to go ahead and attack into it. And instead of dropping the Leper Gnome, I'm going to go ahead and drop a Silverhand Recruit, because next turn I could either drop the Sword of Justice or a Leper Gnome and another Silverhand Recruit, which sets me up good for the Quartermaster.
Right. And so in that turn, you actually did draw a Consecration, yes, for a 4 mana, and it deals 2 damage to all enemies, so you now have that in your hand. Now, it is the priest's turn. He is going to go ahead and heal that Northshire Cleric, and he does draw another card, but he is out of mana. So
he does still have the coin.
He does, but he's not going to use that, and he's going to pass the turn to you.
So I do want to get that Northshire Cleric out of the way, so I think what I'm going to do here is attack in with the Zombie Chow and the Silverhand Recruit, and then drop the Leper Gnome and another Silverhand Recruit.
Okay,
so I could still...
Juice swings in for that damage and gets rid of that Northshire Cleric, and he still has that Zombie Chow up and available with that 2 attack, 1 health now, and does drop that Leper Gnome.
And I also use my hero power for another Silverhand Recruit, so I still maintain a pretty active board presence. I just didn't want him to draw all those cards.
Right. And right now, Juice has a total of 5 damage out on the board. He does end his turn. He's giving that over to the priest.
Ooh, they're using the coin.
Very nice. Let's see what he's going for. He's got 4 mana now. He is targeting up.
Ooh, Shadow Madness.
Shadow Madness. It's a 4 mana cost card.
Ooh, so it's going to deal some damage to me.
Right. It's going to gain control of an enemy minion with 3 or less attack until the end of the turn, and then he used that on the Lesser Gnome and attacks. Let's see.
He took my Leper Gnome, attacked my Zombie Chow, and so that traded off. So his Leper Gnome at that point did 2 damage to me, and then he gained the 5 health, which didn't really do anything because he is still at 30.
Right. And ends his turns and gives it over to you, and it looks like you got Equality as a card.
So I did draw Equality, so now I have Consecration and Equality. I spent that turn to play the Sword of Justice, which I'm going to start making beefier things. Oh, and a light spawn.
Right, and so you end that turn, the priest does draw a light spawn and actually places that down on the board, and that is at 4 mana, 0 attack for 5 life, but the minion's health is always equal to, the minion's attack is always equal to its health. So
this
and
seems
the
like
priest
a good
does
time
end
to
his
use
turn.
a quality. So I'm going to go ahead and use that. That way I can hit him with my sword and then play a Silverhand Recruit, so I have 2 on the battlefield.
Excellent.
And the second Silverhand Recruit I play is going to get a +1/+1 from the sword, so it'll be a 2/2, and then I'm just going to swing in with the 1/1 Silverhand Recruit.
Excellent. And with that Juice Essence turn, it is now the priest's turn. We are at turn 5 here. The priest does have 5 mana. It's at 28 health, and he does drop the Sen'jin Shieldmaster. So now he's got a Taunt out on the board, and he drops another Northshire Cleric. So he's got some card draw going on here, and he's got some Taunt. So he looks like he's in a pretty good protective state. He ends his turn and gives it over to Juice.
Okay, what are we going to do here? So I just drew the Shielded Minibot, 2 mana for a 2/2 with Divine Shield. If I play it now, it could be a 3/3, and I could deal 2 damage to all enemies, which would potentially let me swing in and kill their stuff. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and play the Minibot. So that becomes a 3/3. I'm going to use Consecration, which will deal 2 damage to all of their stuff, which brings the Sen'jin Shieldmaster down to a 3/3, and the Northshire Cleric down to a 1/1. I'm going to go ahead and use up these 2 Silverhand Recruits that I have here to get rid of the Shieldmaster, and then use the sword one more time to kill the Northshire Cleric, leaving me with 1 more durability on it and a 3/3 Divine Shield mech.
Excellent. It is now the priest's turn. He's got 6 mana. Let's see what happens. He's looking at a couple of cards here. Let's see what are the choices. He drops a Novice Engineer.
Draw a card.
He does draw that card. He still has 4 mana left. I think the next play that the priest might be able to do is, with that 4 mana, is either heal himself and save the cards that he has on the board and wait till turn 7. And it looks like that's what he's doing. So he heals his hero. He's back up to 28 HP and ends his turn and gives it over to Jot.
Okay, so here's what I want to start doing is build up some Silverhand Recruits, because I do have the Quartermaster. So I have 7 mana now. I'm going to drop the Sludge Belcher, which is a nice little cushion I have. It's going to get a +1/+1 from the sword as the sword goes away, so now it's a 4/6 Taunter. I'm going to use 2 mana to make another Silverhand Recruit. And I'm just going to go ahead and hit him for 3, bring him down to 25.
With that mini bot.
Yes, which still has Divine Shield.
Yes. So the priest has just the Novice Engineer out on the field. It is his turn. 7 mana here on the plane.
Now he does have a lot of cards in his hand. I only have the Quartermaster, a Consecration, and a Ysera, which I drew.
That's right. The priest has 7 cards in its hand. It's looking and it's trying to think, what is its next turn? I think it's got a couple of good possibilities here. Now, again, we can't see the priest's hand, but it looks like he's got a card out. Let's see what he's going to do here.
So he's choosing. I wouldn't be surprised if it was like a Holy Nova, but I think the Divine Shield is throwing him off a little bit.
Yeah. He is putting that card back, so he is still thinking about what the next turn will be. Now, I think this priest has a couple of different options here. If it's got another light spawn, I'd probably drop that down, have you focus on it a bit more. And if the priest is thinking about it, especially with the popularity of Paladin, it's probably going to want to try to save that Holy Nova for when you got a couple of more. Oh, and it does drop down a Micro Machine here.
And a Wolf Rider. So that's the 3/1 with charge, and he's going to heal himself, looks like.
For the remaining 2 mana.
So is he going to attack in with the Wolf Rider, though? That's the question.
Well, we'll see. His time is almost out, and it's done.
Oh, he's just saving the Wolf Rider.
Couldn't do much with that Wolf Rider. I think he ran out of time. It would have been good to kind of figure out what to do next, but it looks like he's got a total of 6 damage out on the board at this turn.
So what I would like to do here is I do have that Consecration. That clears everything he's done, and that lets me get a little more time, get some more Silverhand Recruits. I don't like that the Minibot and the Wolf Rider, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that.
So just puts down that Consecrate. clears out the priest's board and does an extra 2 damage to hit it. It now has a total of 25 health.
I'm going to make another Silverhand Recruit and swing in for, I think that's 8 damage total. And then end the turn. So I just drew a Ragnos as well, or Ragnaros. That gives me a lot of options late game alongside Ysera, which we are getting to the late game right now. Ooh.
And it's the priest's turn. It's got 8 mana, and it actually... Oh! It's
we had to drop
down
the lone Temple Enforcer, so he didn't get to use that battle cry, but he also doubled its health, so it's a 6/12 now.
And again, that Temple Enforcer, it's got a battle cry where it gives a friendly minion that +3 health, but he's got no other minions out on the field.
So I think he's going to try using that to push through the Sludge Belcher, which I'm okay with. I did just get Tyrian Forging, so that's another big taunt that I can use. So I think now's the time to start going for the face. So I'm going to go ahead and make another Silverhand Recruit, and I think it's time to drop the Quartermaster.
So that Quartermaster, what is it doing there, Juice?
So it turned the Silverhand Recruits I previously had to 3/3s, as well as the one that I just made. And now I can attack in for a lot more damage than I think he was anticipating. So that is going to be 3, 6, 9, and then 13 damage, bringing him down to 4. I have a lot of late game options now, and I'm not too worried.
Yep, so that priest has 4 health. It is now turn 9 for the priest. Draws a card. It doesn't look like it has a whole lot of options here, but it is going to attack with that Temple Enforcer and going for the Sludge Belcher.
So, yeah, he killed the Sludge Belcher, but I still have that other Taunter out, which is the beautiful thing about Sludge Belcher.
Yep, so the slime is out. He's going to use Power Word Shield on that Temple Enforcer.
Needs to draw another card.
Yep.
Ooh. Novice
Got-
Engineer to draw another card.
So it's got some card draw going on. And that Temple Enforcer is now 6/10.
Oh,
And-
I think he's about to make it. Oh,
He's throwing another Power Word Shield on that Temple Enforcer, giving him
God,
another
he's digging
plus
so
2
deep.
health.
he's running out of mana. He's got 5 mana to use now.
Oh,
Ooh,
and
an Oiotron.
drops a Noyotron out on the field. There's one taunt and a Shadow Boxer. So that is whenever a character is healed, deal 1 damage to a random enemy.
Let's see here. So I don't think that a Noyotron is really going to stop me. And yes,
And-
the concession here.
Yep, so the priest does concede. And we got a victory out on the field for Juice.
And that was a win streak, so I got a bonus star, which brings me to the middle of 16.
Very nice, Juice.
Yeah, because
Very nice.
I guess I haven't lost in a while. So that's always nice. Oh, yep, there we go. And I got some towards my dailies. And so there we go. That was the Paladin deck in action, the Quartermaster. Coming down, changing the game.
Very nice, Juice. So anything we want to talk about this match?
I think it was important to get the Northshire Clerics out early, to remove them early. I did give up a lot of usefulness on that sword to do that, and I think that was the right play to make. And ultimately, yeah, it just came down to doing the math, and I had to trade a lot of stuff early just to keep him from getting too many cards, and I think late game, that lack of card draw was really hurting him as well because he was digging really deep.
Right, towards those last couple of turns around turns 7 and 8, just wasn't getting anything that looked like was viable in order to control the deck that you were pumping out a lot of minions out there for a good amount of damage.
Quartermaster still seems to be something that isn't on everybody's radar, and so the Silverhand Recruits aren't really that big of a target right now, so I'm kind of playing off of that. But even so, if they would have to use removal on Silverhand Recruits, that's also a plus.
Right.
And I would like to point out that the shielded mini-bot didn't lose its Divine Shield the whole game.
Great. All right, Juice, so it looks like it's my turn. I'm going to go ahead and start it up. I'm going to choose my Warrior deck just because I've been doing really well with it.
Okay.
And we'll go ahead and play a ranked game. So let's go ahead and get this started. Here we go. I am finding my opponent. Let's see if we can find someone that's worthy.
A worthy opponent.
Let's see, that dial is spinning. Oh, there's a little bit of the lag. It's either a Grandmaster. Oh, thank goodness, it is a worthy opponent.
I was hoping it wasn't going to be that Grandmaster.
Uh-oh. So I am playing Chevy 19LT, which is a Paladin, against my Warrior.
Ooh, now that we're going to see a paladin on the other side of the field now.
Right, which I've been having some trouble with this deck. So I've got 4 cards here because I get to go second. I've got my shield block, which gives me the +5 armor and draw a card. I've got a Forging Berserker. I've got the Acolyte of Pain and an Armor Smith.
Those are all really solid pulls, especially early on, because those are minions that you want to take some damage.
Right, so I'm actually going to keep this and go ahead and confirm, and we're going to go ahead and see what my opponent does. And I've got the coin.
So you could drop an Armor Smith turn 1 if you wanted to, and I think that's a good place to go, but he did drop a Zombie Chow, which is that 2/3.
Oh, and it is now my turn. After he drops that zombie chow, I actually draw the Iron Juggernaut.
Ooh.
So there is that famous legendary that I love.
I think we'll be seeing him later.
Yeah, so right now I'm really debating, should I go ahead and go a little bit early and go ahead and drop that Armor Smith, or should I wait? And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and go for it. I don't have a whole lot of control cards out on the board just yet, but I do want to build up that armor. So let's see if he goes in to drop that Armor Smith and hope that he starts to attack it with that Zombie Chow. So I'm going to go ahead and end my turn and see what is done. So that'll end turn 1.
It is durable enough to take 2 hits from the Zombie Chow, and the Zombie Chow, if you let it survive long enough, it can help refuel your life. So that's good to have. And he's making a Silverhand Recruit. Let's see where he attacks with the Zombie Chow.
And he does go into that Armor Smith, which gives me that 1 extra armor. And now that Armor Smith is 1 and 2.
So now I think you have a choice. You can either try attacking him directly. You can attack the Silverhand Recruit to bring your Armor Smith down to 1/1 and remove it. That way you'd get a total of 3 armor from it, plus armoring up.
Right, so now it is my turn, and I went ahead and drew the Shield Maiden.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Juice played out my turn exceptionally well, which is I am going to take that Armor Smith, and I am going to attack that Silverhand Recruit, which gives me 1 extra armor. So now that's a total of 2, and I'm going to go ahead and armor up with my hero power and gain a total of 4 armor now, and end my turn.
And I think once turn 3 rolls around, you are going to have a lot more options.
Right, so I've got a couple of options here for my turn 3. And let's see here. The Paladin does drop another Silverhand Recruit and attacks him with that Zombie Chow indirectly to my hero, which brings down my armor to 2, but I still have 30 life. So it is my turn now.
Mm-hmm. You just drew a Shield Slam, which is going to be useful sometime.
Yeah. Eventually, when I will need it. But I'm thinking either I go with more armor or I start going for that Berserker. You know what? I think the right option... You know what? I'm going to do something a little bit differently. I don't really need the card draw, but I think with this, if I do put down that Acolyte of Pain, it's going to force that Paladin to attack in with that Zombie Chow and that Silverhand Recruit, which will allow me to draw 2 cards. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to drop that down. I'm going to take that Armor Smith and attack that Silverhand Recruit, which will get rid of it, but now I have 3 armor, and he's only got that Zombie Chow now out on the field. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and end my turn.
Yeah, it puts you in a good position because just like the Armor Smith, the Zombie Chow requires 2 hits to take out your Acolyte of Pain, netting you 2 cards. And it doesn't look like that 5 health that you would get from it is going to be really important anytime soon.
Right. So let's see, that Paladin is thinking.
Ooh, True Silver Champion. So that is the 4/2. Whenever you attack, you gain 2 life, and then you deal the damage. You still get to draw that card. Ooh, a Sludge Belcher. And then the zombie hits him 4/2.
Right, so with that, with the True Silver Champion, he did attack in to the Acolyte of Pain. I did draw that card, which was a Sludge Belcher, and now it is my turn. I've got a couple of options here for my turn 4. I still have 1 armor, 30 health. I think at this point, I still want to kind of keep that control aspect, so I'm not going to do too much here, but I'm going to put some pressure on the board. I'm going to go ahead and put that Berserker down.
Mm-hmm.
and leave that there and go ahead and end my turn.
So whenever any minion takes damage, it's going to get +1 attack. And that's a good target just to get that true silver champion out of the way as well.
Which the paladin does go for, so he is attacking in with that sword. He's lost all durability, but he did get that berserker out of my board here. And looks like he is attacking with that zombie chow.
So he dealt the 2 damage, now you're down to 29. And then he dropped a piloted shredder. 4 mana, 4/3 with Death Rattle Summoning, random cost 2 minion.
Excellent.
And I see you got another Frothing Berserker, so...
That's right, so he ended his turn. I did get that Frothing Berserker. It is now mine. I'm thinking of a couple different options, especially with the amount of damage that he does have out on the board now. There's a couple of different things that I can do, and so I'm really looking at this combination here, which is I'm going to go ahead and do my shield block, which is that 3 mana, get myself 5 armor, and draw a card. And I do draw the Brawl, which is excellent. It's something that I'm going to want to need and save for when he tries to do that Quartermaster combination. But with the extra possibility here that I do have, I'm going to go ahead and do that Shield Slam and attack that Shield Slam and use it against that piloted Sky Golem here, or the Shredder.
Ooh, man. He has a hunter-specific card. The Scavenging Hyena, a 2 mana 2/2. Whenever a friendly beast dies, get +2/+1. I don't think we're going to be seeing a lot of beasts on this Paladin's board.
Hopefully not, because that'll be a bad combination. With that, I'm going to go ahead and end my turn.
Effectively at 34 life.
Right, which for our listeners is 29 health, 5 armor.
And the Paladin is 28, and he just dropped the Little Exorcist. 3 mana 2/3 with Taunt. It gets +1/+1 for each opponent's Death Rattle minions, which you had none of. And he's attacking in, dealing a total of 4 damage to you, bring you to 29 health and 1 armor.
Excellent. So he did use that Scavenging Hyena and that Zombie Tao to attack in, so I am effectively... He's got a total of 7 damage out on the board now, and there's a couple of things that I can do. Now, he's got some presence. I'm thinking here, what would be the best play? So when that turn ended, I got another Fiery Axe, War Axe. I can either use the Brawl and get that pressure off of me, or I can throw down a Sludge Belcher, which will definitely save me for this turn and not take any damage, and wait until turn 7 and go from there and see what happens and see what he drops to see if my Brawl will be a bit more effective. So let's go ahead and see what that does. I'm going to go ahead and drop my Sludge Belcher. So I've got my Taunt out. He's got 5 life. Again, the Paladin has a total of 7 damage out on the field. But when that Sludge Belcher does die, I will get that 1/2 slime with Taunt.
And nothing higher than 3 health, which means anything he throws at the Sludge Belcher is going to be traded away, unless he has some sort of tricks up his sleeve, which is good that you're baiting him out on the Brawl with.
So let's see, it is the Paladin's turn. He's looking at a couple of his cards. I think, yep, he's going in.
So he just attacked in with that Zombie Chow, which means you gain that 1 health.
Sludge Belcher is down to 3 life.
The Paladin seems to still be examining his options. He now has 5 attack on the board. Over across his 3 minions, he still has the 2/2 Scavenging Hyena, the 2/3 little... Oh, wait a sec. He just played the Aldor Peacekeeper, bringing Sludge Belcher down to 1 attack, which means he can attack into it safely. Ooh, he just threw away his Silverhand Recruit, which means maybe he's not doing the Quartermaster combo here, or maybe just wanted to get rid of the extra minion that comes after you kill a Sludge Belcher. And he is dropping another Silverhand Recruit. Ooh. Well.
So it is now my turn. I did get that Bouncing Blade on that draw. I'm going to save that because he's got 2 creatures out there.
Yeah.
that do have 1 health, so I don't want to quite get rid of that. Now there's a couple of things that I can do here, and I think I'm going to go ahead and take my Shield Maiden and drop that for 6 mana. It is going to give me that 5 armor, and it's going to put an attack creature out there on the board with 5/5, which I think will kind of bait him to get rid of some of those creatures that are currently out on the field. I think he's going to go ahead and attack in, so I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to drop in that Shield Maiden. Going down now, I've got 5 extra armor. I've got that 5/5 out on the field. I think this Paladin is going to take this and go ahead and take on that Scavenging Hyena and probably that Eldar Peacekeeper and attack in.
And I do apologize, that was my clock over here, and I think we might be able to bait out another Eldar Peacekeeper if that's what he has as well.
Which is going to be really good for me in the late game to get rid of those debuffs.
That means that Iron Juggernaut's going to stay super big. Oh, wait a sec. This is interesting. He looks like he's just going for the face.
Excellent. And he does. He attacks with all of his creatures out on the board right now for a total of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 damage, and does have still 8 mana to use.
And it looks like he has 6 cards in his hand to choose from, so let's see what he's going to do. Ooh, Sneed's Shredder. So that is the 8 mana 5/7. When it dies, summon a legendary minion.
Okay, so he does end his turn. He's got quite a bit out there on that board presence now, so this is where I'm going to be very effective, and hopefully with the luck of the draw here for that RNG, I'm going to go ahead and use Brawl. But before I do, just to let everyone know on my turn, I did get that Cruel Taskmaster.
A gold Cruel Taskmaster.
Of course, so it's really, really angry. So now I think I've got a couple of options here. The first thing I'm going to do here now with that Sneed's Shredder, I want to get that out of play. So I'm going to go ahead and drop that Brawl. Here's the ding. Everyone is in. They're going crazy. Stuff is getting kicked out. Let's see what stays. And it is my Shield Maiden.
Oh. So let's see what legendary... Ooh, Blingtron. But it didn't trigger the battle cry.
Right.
So it's just a 3/4 minion.
Did drop that Blingatron 3000 for that 5 mana, which it didn't cost because, again, it's that legendary card, but it does have a battle cry which equips a random weapon to each player, which it won't do.
So now you have 3 mana to work with.
So I've still got that 3 mana. Let's go ahead and drop the Berserker. Attack in with the Shield Maiden, get that Blingatron out of the way. Get that Berserker, start getting that buffs up, and we're going to go ahead and end my turn.
So 2 minions took damage. That Berserker is up to a 4/4 now. And the opponent's board is clear. He does have 9 mana to work with. Ooh, Equality. I think we're going to see a combo here. Equality Consecration. There we go. There it is. So he just brought all the minions' health down to 1 and then dealt 2 damage. And he's dropping the shielded minibot. This deck seems a little familiar.
So I've got a couple of options here. Now, I haven't quite tested this out, Juice, so I'm going to use a little bit of advantage since we actually are doing a podcast. Bouncing Blade. It does 1 damage to a random enemy and repeats until a minion dies. It should get rid of that Divine Shield on that mini-bot, right? And continue to bounce?
I think it should hit the Divine Shield and keep bouncing until it kills it.
Let's do it. Here we go. Bouncing Blade out on the board. It does bounce. It gets rid of the shield and gets rid of the mini-bot. And I'm going to go ahead and play that Iron Juggernaut.
So that's going to put a mine in the opponent's deck that when it draws it, or when they draw it, they take 10 damage and then actually draw their card for the turn.
Yes. And
now you have in your possession an Alexstrasza that you recently drew. So that must make you feel pretty good about going late.
Yes, it does. I'm going to hold off on that until we'll see what I get for turn 10. But for this, on my turn 9 here, I'm feeling pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and end my turn. So I do have 6 damage out on the board. Let's see how the Paladin answers with its 10 mana.
He has 4 cards in his hand. I don't think any of them are like random extra parts or anything like that. They actually just 4 Paladin cards. Looks like he's looking at 1.
So I think either one of 2 things is going to happen. Either he's got that true... Oh, yep. He's got the True Silver Champion. So he does draw that out onto the field.
It's still not the most efficient way to take care of that Iron Juggernaut because it is only going to do the 4 damage to it.
But it looks like he is putting down another card here. And there's that Consecration, which is going to deal 2 damage to my hero and also to my Iron Juggernaut. He's going to attack in, deal 6 damage to himself.
He's going to gain the 2, so that's going to net you 4 damage to him. And then create a Silverhand Recruit.
All right. That ends his turn. It is now my turn. And on my draw, I actually got Baron...
Geddon.
Yes, Baron Geddon, which is a 7 mana, 7 attack, 5 health, and at the end of your turn, you deal 2 damage to all other characters.
Well, that might be problematic for a lot of Silverhand recruits.
Yes, so let's keep that board clear. That's what I'm going to go ahead and do. I'm going to go ahead and drop down the Baron Geddon for that 7 attack, get that presence up, make sure that if he's got any other debuffs, I'm going to have that go now. I do have 3 mana left. I'm going to go ahead and armor up so I don't take any damage from that Baron Geddon. And it looks like I may have this in the bag unless he's got anything crazy going on here with the amount of cards that I do have still and that Alexstrasza. Let's see how this ends.
You still have your 2 Fiery War Axes in case you need to hit anything.
So Baron Geddon does fire off. It does deal 2 damage, gets rid of that Silverhand Recruit, and deal that 2 damage to that hero Paladin here.
So I wonder if he's going to try and do something similar with stringing some damage together with his True Silver Champion.
Yeah, let's see how this goes. So he does have that 4 attack on the True Silver Champion. There's a couple of options that Paladin does have now without seeing that card, or the cards that he does have. I think we've got 2 things. He does have the ability to heal up possibly and try to draw those 3 cards with that Lay on Hands. Or maybe even have the option of that minion that does heal for 5 and do like a 6/5 presence. Can't remember the name of it.
Looks like a Lay on Hands, so restore 8 health and draw 3 cards.
So there's that card draw.
He's refueling. I wonder if he's just going to end the turn here. I'll say some 2 damage away. Oh, he's just going to hit you with the True Silver Champion.
Okay, so going directly for my hero, I'm down to 20 health. And I've got that Armor Smith, is what I just drew. So
combos pretty nicely with Baron Geddon.
Yep, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go for that combo. I'm going to go and place down that Armor Smith. I'm going to go ahead and equip that Fiery War Axe to my hero. I'm going to go in with that Armageddon, deal 7 damage to that Paladin. I'm going to armor up. Little out of order, but that is okay by me. I'm going to go ahead and attack in with my hero now for 3 health. To that Paladin, brings him down to 20 life. So I've got that 2 armor.
The Paladin at started the turn with 30 life and now is down to 20.
And so now I've got that 2 armor. I'm going to go ahead and end my turn. Baron Geddon's going to fire off. Which does make that Armor Smith give me 1 extra armor. So now I'm at 20 health, 1 armor. Paladin is at 18. And now, just to let all of our listeners know, we do have 10 mana.
Ooh, Sylvanas Windrunner hits the battlefield, 6 mana, 5/5 Death Rattle. Take control of a random enemy minion. That could cause a problem.
It looks like he drops another Silverhand Recruit and ends his turn. Let's see here, Juice. I've got a total of 8 damage on the field, but I'm going to do something a little bit differently. I've been looking at that Alexstrasza, but I'm thinking I'm going to hold off on the Alexstrasza because of that Windrunner, the Sylvanas Windrunner out on the field. I really don't want it to take one of my cards here. So what I am going to do is drop down that Acolyte of Pain that I just drew so I can draw some more cards. I'm going to go ahead and... I'm looking at that Cruel Taskmaster. I'm wondering if I should use it now or not. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and hold off on that. And I'm going to go ahead and use that Armor Smith attack in to the Silverhand Recruit. Get rid of that. Armor Smith is now 1/1. Take that Baron Geddon. And I'm wondering if I should attack into the hero. You know what? Why not?
If you attack into the hero, that would force the Sylvanas to attack into you, which means when they trade, he would only get either an Armor Smith or an Acolyte of Pain.
Right. So let's go and do that now with that Fiery War Axe. Go and drop that down onto my hero. Attack that Paladin down to 8 health. Drop another Fiery War Axe. Armor up. And end my turn.
Okay, so that's going to start the 2 damage cycle here, bringing the Paladin down to 6. Ooh. The card that Rodney drew from the Acolyte of Pain was, of course, Gromash Hellscream.
So I've got quite a bit of damage here. No matter what it looks like, as long as he doesn't drop a taunt, which he doesn't, which is good.
Oh, he used Harrison Jones to destroy his Rodney's weapon, and the Harrison Jones card draw netted him a mine,
which
finishing him off dealing 10 damage where he only had 6 life.
Yes, so that Paladin is long gone. Thank you for the game. And I just realized that our actual player that we played against was actually rank 18.
Oh.
Which feels a little unfair now, and I kind of feel kind of bad because I was ranked 17, but I do get that win streak bonus star, which actually gets me to 3 stars at rank 17. Just need to win one more and move into rank 16.
Okay, well, I think that was a good time for that mine to show up. I know I was waiting for it to show up, and so the actual using the added card draw from Harrison Jones to hit it was pretty awesome.
Yep, very excited to see how things went on this one. So Juice is now rank 16. I am still rank 17 with that win streak still enabled. We both have that going. So it looks like we've got a lot of fun stuff to do throughout the week and see if we can get to that rank 1 or legendary rank, Juice.
I'd say arguably anything can happen. Who knows? The world is our oysters.
Right. I haven't heard that saying before, but I like it.
The world is. You've never heard the world is your oyster?
No, never have.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty common. Yeah. Well, now you have.
Well, listeners, that is our discussion, which was that little bit of shoutcasting to get that play in. Again, I will go ahead and put that up on YouTube and link that in our show notes so you'll be able to watch as you listen to our shoutcast.
And I would just like to point out that we didn't have to do a lot of games. We only played those 2 games. We both won, so high five from a distance here.
Yeah, virtually. Good job. So with that, let's go ahead and move into our Crack-A-Pack challenge. So just last week, we had that Whirling Zap-O-Matic. Looking at the time, we'll probably just make this kind of short. I already talked about my experience with it. I had a lot of fun. Wind Fury Shaman is definitely something very viable and very fun to do.
I personally was a little worried about it. Again, I had my issues where I was starting out very aggressive and hoping for an explosive beginning, and that didn't really pan out to be a viable, playable deck. So I started having a lot more luck and fun when I switched over to more of a mid-game feel, where I was using a little more control aspects in the early game, and then just beating them in the face with a Wind Fury minion. So, the Whirling Zap-O-Matic it set me on that path, and it was good for baiting and removal, but I'd say the ultimate victory would still go to the Dune Maul Shaman.
I completely agree with you. Now, the Whirling Zap-O-Matic was still an excellent card. We did really well, and I will say, Juice, I was able to complete the challenge. Got to rank and stayed at rank 17 with that card. And still had a lot of fun, but I think I'm going to stick to my warrior.
I was able to play ranked as well. I did a lot of non-ranked just to get the kinks sort of ironed out, but once I did, I was able to complete the challenge as well.
Well, excellent. Well, Juice, we've got a little bit more here to do. It's this week's Crack-A-Pack challenge, and since I'm recording the video already for our matches, I've got 1 pack ready and available. That's a Goblin vs. Gnome pack that needs to be opened up to see what I get. So with that, Juice, I've gone ahead and I'm going to go ahead and place this GVG pack on the summoning table here to open it up. And we're going to go ahead and place that down. It goes crazy and explodes, and now I've got 5 cards available for me to choose from. So Juice, starting from the top, we've got card number 1. To the right of that is card number 2. Below that is card number 3. To the left of that is card number 4. And just above that is card number 5. Juice, I'm going to go ahead and have you choose, and the card that you choose is our Crack-A-Pack challenge for this week.
So my gut reaction is 5. So I think we should go with number 5.
All right, number 5. So we're going to go ahead and flip that over. It is a rare. It's a Paladin card. It's the Scarlet Purifier, 3 mana, 4 attack, 3 health. It's got a battle cry that deals 2 damage to all minions with Death Rattle.
No, I have seen people use that in their Paladin decks as sort of a metagame choice when playing a lot of Hunter, Death Rattle-y sort of decks, things like that. So I actually did include it in one iteration as a one-of in this Paladin deck, and I think I might just put it back in.